Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. I would like to welcome you to the Candidate Forum of 2015. To begin our program, we'll have a word from our student trustee candidates, starting off with Milo Anderson.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, Pierce College. It's good to be home. It's good to be here. I've been going from a couple of different campuses. I actually visited Trade Tech and East LA this week, and I had the opportunity to visit with the students at those campuses, talk about their concerns, and see those beautiful campuses. It was actually a real pleasure to be able to visit them. And I realized something when I was over there about how connected we really all are in the Los Angeles Community College District, and how much more connected we can be. At Trade Tech, they have a cafeteria that's working, that is run by their culinary students. And they have something special going on after 4 p.m. where they get food half off every day after 4 p.m. Sounds like a solution that could be implemented in other schools. Can you think of any? Maybe Pierce College. So what I saw at those other schools was what's awesome about their schools. And it made me appreciate our own school as well, even more so, and how if we work together and learn and collaborate with these schools, the students of these schools, the ASOs, the ASGs, and the ASUs, if we have a student affairs committee that actually learn about the problems and the solutions that are happening on other campuses, work together, we could really accomplish some amazing things next year with the Board of Trustees. That's why I am running to be your next candidate on the Board of Trustees as the student trustee candidate for 2015 and 2016. I want to be your voice on the Board of Trustees, but more importantly, I want to work with the other colleges. I don't want to just be the candidate of Pierce College. I want to be the candidate for the whole district, because there are solutions here on this campus that the other campuses can use too. So what I want to see is the leadership of each one of the students, of each of the ASOs and the ASGs and again the ASUs, to come together on the Student Affairs Committee to really improve the academic and social experience of all the students of all the colleges. I'm not sure how much time I have. I might have gone over already, but I want to say thank you guys for showing up and being a part of the democracy here on your campus and in your district. On Tuesday and on Thursday of next week, you'll be able to vote for all of the candidates here, excellent candidates here, and for your candidate choice for the student trustee of the Los Angeles Community College District. My name is Milo Harold Anderson, and I really want to encourage you. More importantly, I want you to vote for me, but more importantly, I want you to vote. So you're about to hear from the other candidate. I believe he's also an excellent candidate, an excellent choice. Listen to him with open ears. Because either way, if we don't vote, either for one or the other candidate, and our voice isn't heard through the democratic process, it's not as powerful as it could be for your next student trustee who will be representing you on the highest level of the community colleges, the Board of Trustees. Again, my name is Milo Harold Anderson. It's a pleasure to be here at my home campus, Pierce College, but it's a pleasure to be a student of the Los Angeles Community College District, and I'm looking forward to the exciting things we can do together as students of the Los Angeles Community College District in 2015 and 2016. Thank you again.
All right, thank you, Milo. Our next candidate, Ryan Navarrete.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Navarrete. I'm going for the position for student trustee within the Los Angeles Community College District. A lot with my slogan is uniting all of Los Angeles now. Pierce, Mission, Southwest, uniting all of them and uniting them as one. Once we've established that and made ourselves as one team, we're able to pursue the one goal that we all have in common, which is progress, which is my slogan, Los Angeles 9 United for Progress. Once we're able to do that, we can solve any issues that come our way. Any issues that are on one campus or multiple campuses, we can bring them together as one and solve them as one. One of the things I want to persuade the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees is a better price for students who are full-time and take public transportation. You know, I take public transportation. The Orange Line is not too far from here, dropping you off in front of Pierce College. I believe that the LA9 needs this. It's not a want, it's a need. Other districts have this. So I want to bring those reduced tab cards here and to the rest of the LA9. You know, in terms of bringing more food, I feel that we should support the culinary arts program, because the culinary arts program at Trade Tech was very close to being cut. They were just considering bringing outside vendors and just cutting the culinary arts program. I feel that maybe they can get the hands-on experience and bring food here for all of you, and still have the same 50% after 4 p.m. for all of you. Thank you, and my name is Ryan Navarrete, and I'm a candidate for the student trustee.
Thank you for that. Next, you'll be hearing for the executive board.
Can you open up for questions for us real quick?
Okay, yes, sorry.
It's okay.
If the audience has questions for the student trustees, please ask them now.
Any questions?
Alex.
Congratulations to the two of you. I'm so much proud of you guys, and I listened to both of you, and I have a lot of hope that all the 9 colleges are going to be in safe hands. Whoever wins, it's going to be in safe hands. And my question is for the both of you, any of you can answer. There's a lot of going on within the district, and you guys talking about uniting all the 9 colleges. What's the first step you guys want to take to unite? How are you going to do that? All of us colleges, the 9 colleges, we are unique in that we have different needs. And when you talk of uniting us, you might not be able to fulfill our need, but you fulfill the other colleges' need. How are you guys going to tackle this to make sure that we have a common thing and have a common voice, and we achieve all you guys want to achieve?
Thank you, Alex. Excellent question. Excellent question. First of all, if I'm elected as student trustee, the very first thing I want to do is have a retreat with all of the elected ASO, ASU, ASG presidents. This summer, sit them down with me and talk about the differences, the uniqueness, the beauty and the difficulties that they face on their colleges, where their student governments have had successes, where their student governments are facing challenges. We're going to sit down and we're going to learn from each other exactly how to solve the problems amongst ourselves. What solutions can we create as students without having to necessarily implement policy change? Do we understand all the policies that are out there? There's not this transparency right now, in my opinion, of what district policy is. And I think that the tools are already there in many circumstances for us to solve our own problems. But we need to communicate with each other. Each campus, all 9 of the campuses, Pierce, Valley, Mission, Harbor, East, West, Southwest, City, all of these colleges have solutions on their campuses. So let's bring those solutions to other campuses. Now, when there's an issue that we can't solve, that we cannot figure out, that the policy or procedure of the district is holding one or other of us back from doing the things we want to see happen for our students, that's when we have a real issue that we can all unite behind, because that affects each one of us. Maybe not each campus directly, but indirectly, where one campus is being hindered by bad policy or bad procedure that's where we can all agree that that policy should be changed. Because what happens that hurts one campus on an institutional district-wide level hurts every campus. So that's why I want to get the ASO, ASG, and ASU presidents together this summer for a retreat to really get the ball rolling before the fall semester starts. This summer, we're going to get started on figuring out how we're going to solve the problems on each one of the campuses. We may not find every single solution. We may not be able to solve every single problem. I can't promise that necessarily. But I can promise under me as student trustee, we're going to try our hardest and we're going to get the ball rolling right away. Thank you again for that question.
So, if elected student trustee, what I plan on having is having a training day for all ASU, ASG, and ASO presidents, so that they can get the proper training that's needed, so they can be the effective leader for their campus. You know, if elected student trustee, I'll be chairing the Student Affairs Committee meeting. You know, I currently chair the legislative meeting. So I'll be able to unite all 9 campuses together for that meeting and communicate with them on what needs to be done on each of their campuses. Also, I do plan to attend all ASO, ASG, and ASU's board meetings, so I can announce that I am your student trustee. Anything that's going on your campus that needs to be heard, everyone knows about it. And just not just the board, but the students. I plan on visiting every single campus on a regular basis. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna be student trustee, right? The board meetings are boring as hell. They're 5 hours long. How are you gonna prepare yourself to sit and endure through those boring meetings? Thank you.
Do you want to get it, or do you want me to get it first? It's yours. Great. John, that's a great question. Meetings can be tedious. Okay, definitely. And I definitely will be bored from time to time, especially when there are issues that aren't necessarily directly concerning the students that are being talked about. You know, that's a good question. How am I going to deal with the boredom is what you're basically asking me. I don't see it as boredom necessarily, and I don't think I will. I think what I'll do is I'll see it as what I have to get through, what I have to kind of suffer through in order to be able to actually be the voice for the students of the 9 colleges. And I think that sacrifice of sitting through some tedium and, you know, some policy and all of the bureaucracy of it will be a well worth price to pay in order to be the voice when we have issues that we need to bring to that Board of Trustees. And also, I don't plan on making the Student Affairs Committee that boring. I want it to be a place where we're collaborating. I kind of going to think the Student Affairs Committee is more like a Student Affairs Council, where we're actually working together to figure out what our problems are and talking about our problems and our solutions as students, and seeing what strategies we can come up with. And then also, when we propose something from the Student Affairs Committee with me as a student trustee and the chair of that committee, I don't want to just give problems to the Board of Trustees. I want to give problems with the solutions that we come up with. So I think that'll be fun, personally. I'm excited, but I'm strongly excited by the idea of really figuring out what the problems are, really documenting it, really putting it into surveys, putting it into, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. But getting the signatures from the students who want something to happen. Getting everyone to say that there is a problem and figuring out what the solution is to solve that problem. So, yes, some of it will be tedious, but I think the position will be a lot of fun too. And have much greater rewards than the disadvantage of sitting through some long, boring meetings. But thank you for that question, John.
So, thank you, John, for the question. What I plan to do is I plan to get the agenda as soon as it's released, and I plan to speak about it with both the chancellor and the student trustee advisor, work with them on how I can make the meeting most productive in voicing the students of the district any and all concerns and advocating on their behalf. And overall, I feel, as the Commissioner of Student Advocacy for Trade Tech, advocating on their behalf, I can advocate for all the students of the district to the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I guess this is a simple question. How do you plan on involving the students? Because a lot of times the students might not participate in elections or, be that. How do you plan on getting the students involved in solutions?
Thank you, Paul. Excellent question again. How do we get the students involved? I think we need to have a cultural change. And we do that by starting to realize that the Board of Trustees actually does want to hear from the students. I think there's a belief, an incorrect belief, and it's a belief I have sometimes, that the people on the top, the people at the Board of Trustees, don't necessarily care about student voice, don't care what we want to see happen. Well, I struggle with this because sometimes it really seems like that. It seems like the people who are in charge just make rules to make things more difficult. But the more I think about it, these people ran for these positions in public office. They care. They want to make sure that the longevity of this institution stays intact. And so they've got these rules and procedures that have standed the test of time. In some cases, they're not the right ones to be we should be there right now, but they are the ones that work. And when it comes down to it, our community colleges have to work. And I think part of the problem is that students don't necessarily understand the motive of the people at the top, the administration. And the administration isn't really hearing, because of that, the students don't feel like their voice matters. And I feel that if we change that cultural paradigm to talk about how the schools can be better and show the administration that we care about improving the schools as much as they do, it'll change the way that they view student voice. And it'll change the way that we view ourselves. We'll actually be able to really do something with the time that we have here now. And right now is the most important time ever. All we can do is be in the right now in the moment. I'm reminded again by something that Napoleon Hill once wrote. Within every adversity, every heartbreak, and every failure, there's the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. And I'm not gonna lie, there's adversity, heartbreak, and failure for the students of the Los Angeles Community College District right now. But we can turn that into opportunities to make this school better for ourselves, make ourselves better in the process for the doing, for the trying, for the effort. Even if we fail, we will still be better off as individuals, better off as citizens, better off as academics, as people who are going to go out in the world and get something done. This could be our learning ground. This could be our opportunity to make a difference while we're here in the now. So, as Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, do what you can with where you are and what you have right now. I think I transposed that, but you get the gist. Thank you again. Closing statement for me. My name is Milo Harold Anderson, and I do want to be your student trustee candidate. As soon as we're done here, Brian and I are done speaking, we got to run to Valley to go to another candidate forum. So I want you to know, it's not that I don't want to listen to them. In fact, I'm recording this on the camcorder so that I can watch their speeches later. And I'll be posting that online too. So if any of your friends wish they could have been here right now and want to check it out on my Facebook page, Milo Harold Anderson, and they'll be able to watch this candidate forum, or you'll be able to watch this candidate forum later tonight instead of watching TV if you want. So, Milo Harold Anderson, hopefully your candidate for student trustee of the Los Angeles Community College District for 2015 and 2016. Great questions, thank you.
Thank you for that excellent question. And it goes back to what I said in the beginning, uniting everyone as one whole when we're able to unite all as one whole, have the president get the proper training for that, and having the rest of the board have the proper training, you know, your historian or public relations officer will be able to announce and bring the entire school and let them know what's going on your campus. You know, and everything goes back to training. And if we can work hard throughout summer, and once fall hits, everything will just fall into place. You know, everything is just one team: the district, the faculty, the sheriffs, the students, and the student government. We're one team, and we need to unite as one and aim for the common goal of progress. So by communicating to all the students, you will know what's going on, both district level, administrative level, student life, and overall on what's going on academically. I also want to push for letting all the students know when the Board of Trustees meetings are going to be held at. The Board of Trustees meetings are held at each campus. You know, I believe just yesterday it was at Southwest. It's available for all of you at LACCD website. It's there for you. I believe that as a candidate for your student trustee, I will be telling you in advance when the meetings are going to be and where they're going to be, since they are open to the public. So all of you can come and voice your concerns when the meeting is here on your campus. Thank you, and once again, my name is Ryan Navarrete, and I'm your candidate for student trustee.
Thank you, and with that, we have to continue moving on with the program, and we'll move on to the ASO executive candidates for 2015.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We'll be starting off with the club council president candidates. Carlos Castaneda.
Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Castañeda. I'm a student, international student here at Pierce. This is my third semester in Pierce, my second semester in AGS, and my first semester as a AGS student, board student, so board member. I want to run for a club council because in my third semester at Pierce, I've noticed that there is a lack of student involvement in clubs. So I want to make these buddy students more interested in joining the clubs because there's a lot of talented people here in campus, and they don't realize they could be part of the community. So if I'm elected as the club council president, I'm not here to be a dictator. I'm not gonna go to the meetings and say, oh, here's what the clubs need to do. Here's how it's gonna be. So I want to hear the clubs. I want to hear what they need, what they want, and find a better solution to get what they want. I have two projects in mind to improve the involvement for students. So I value hard work, and I hope that I get elected. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Carlos. Next, you'll be hearing a word from the treasurer's candidates, and we'll start off with Roxanne Kiramani.
Hello everyone, my name is Roxanne Kiramani and I'm running for the position of treasurer. I think that my main concern for our board and the Senate in general is what we do with our money. We have a good amount of money that are placed in our funds that a lot of students and communities on campus don't know about. They don't necessarily know that they can have access to this money and that they can do things to improve student life as well as the campus in general. What I want to do, one of my main focuses focuses is to have this money available for students to be able to go on trips and do things that will teach them about leadership. Because not only do the people on the board as well as the people that are part of the Senate need to know about leadership. Leadership is something that's very important for the campus in general. Every student needs to know about these things so that they can somehow provide for a change that our campus needs. So I want to make use of the funds that we have for that, because we do have money available for that, but we haven't been making much use of it. The money has just been building up, and I think that it's time to put it to use. So that being said, I want to be able to help the students as treasurer. I want to be able to reach out to people who are in need, or even people that don't know that we can help them. So hopefully I can get your vote for treasurer. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Roxanne. Next candidate, Charles Zavala.
Thank you very much. How are you guys doing today? I hope all of you are very wonderful on a hot sunny day in the Sahara. Anyway, so let's get things going. I'm running as a treasurer because I've been here since 2010. I know how it was back then, and I know how it is now. Now we're at the peak of not only good, better, but the best education you can possibly get here in California. For starters, if I am seated as a treasurer, I will make sure, or it will be one of my goals, to have every single student who has paid their ASO fee and their representation fee. It is my obligation to give back to you guys for supporting the ASO and the school. What I mean by support is, what if I told you that every purchase you do in the student store and in the SIP, you get 10% off for just paying $8. Think about that. You're coming to school, you're getting 10% off just by paying your student's fee and representation fee. Who's winning? You guys are, not us. We're here to give back to you guys, and that's my stand. My second point is, as a treasurer, I will give back to my clubs, to departments who would like to put in much more effort in making the school a diversity of students and giving back to the students, letting them be interested in learning proper education, getting their good education, and continue on with their passion. And lastly, if I am seated as a treasurer, I'll be, what do you call this? No, let me rephrase. I will make it a fight to get cheaper books and not only the good, better, but the best books possible at a good price. And a say for students in all their effort going into the bookstore. Thank you. Once again, my name is Charles Zavala. It's spelled as Zabala for Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Next, we'll have a few words from the running vice presidents. We'll start off with Barbara Lambrano.
Good afternoon. I really wish there would have been more students here today, but I want to thank the ones that were able to come today and to listen to the candidates that are running. I've been a student here since fall of 2013, and when I first started at Pierce, that's all I did. I focused strictly on my coursework. I didn't really look at anything else that was going on here at the campus. Then after being here for that semester and moving on to the next, I got a little bit interested in seeing what was going on. After meeting other students, hearing about issues, and understanding that I was having some of those same issues, and what I was being told, well, that's just the way it is, so just get used to it. That's what you're going to have to deal with every semester. That's not me. That's not who I am. So I decided at that point in time to look out there and see what was available to the students here on Pierce College and to get involved. The only way that we're going to make our campus better life, and all around, not even for us that just go here now, but for those that come, after us, is to get involved. And we need more student engagement here on the campus. And so I take it upon myself within my classes that I take, and when I'm out just walking around campus and being involved in the different organizations, to really talk to people, to the students one-on-one, to find out what it is that they're having problems with, or what it is they would like to see happen here at Pierce. And becoming more and more involved, I now am a member of both of the honor societies here on Pierce College, being Phi Theta Kappa and Alpha Gamma Sigma. I'm very active in both of those. I also am active in the Student Veterans Club. I have 13 years in the Navy, and so I have leadership skills. One of the responsibilities for being vice president is running the meetings that we have every week. So I have that leadership skills, I have the experience in how to run the meetings. I have read over and studied the Brown Act, which is how we're governed because of how our school is set up in the district. So I just want to be a voice for the students. I want to make things better. I really want to advocate and get more engagement in the students within our ASO and on campus. So again, my name is Barbara Lombrano, and I'm running for Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Barbara. Our next candidate for Vice President is Nora Hervani.
Hello, I'm Nora Hervani, and I'm running for Vice President. So I decided to run because this is my second semester here at Pierce College, and I've always been involved with my student government, with leadership clubs, with other multiple clubs. I created 2 clubs of my own that made it onto TV. We've done so many events for anything you can think of, from cancer, breast cancer awareness month, from supporting spirit clubs, soccer club, anything, and Toys for Tots, stuff like that. I believe student involvement is a huge problem on this campus. Many people are not aware of what ASO is. They are not aware of all the clubs Pierce has to offer. They're not aware of the 2 honor societies, which I'm both part of as well. There's so many great opportunities here that can make you stand out. This is a transferring school. You want to look the best. You want to make people successful as well. So there are many opportunities here that people don't realize. One of my goals is to make sure that people are aware of everything Pierce has to offer. We're having issues. I spoke to many people. People are having problems with Wi-Fi, with public transportation, with parking, with classrooms, with not being aware of any events that are going on. Look at this. This is a big deal for us, all of us. And there's only maybe 20 people here, which we absolutely appreciate. But there should be more. We're representing the student body. There should be at least 1,000, 2,000 people here. And unfortunately, not many people are aware of anything that goes on. So I want to make that change. I believe we have so many issues going on, such as restrooms, that can be fixed, and I know the right people to talk to. So I hope you guys consider voting for me. My name is Nora Hervani, and thank you.
Thank you for that, Nora. And that is the lineup for the Vice President. Next, we'll be moving on to the presidential candidates, starting off with Albert Thakur.
My fellow students, my fellow candidates, thank you so much for coming out this afternoon. I am a write-in candidate, which means you might actually have to remember my name, Albert Thakur. This is my first time going to college. It's the second semester I've had here at Pierce. And I found out about student government. So I came in one afternoon and I met our current president, and he charmed me and he convinced me that this was the right path to take. And what I saw was that all the candidates that you're seeing up here, including the senators, worked really hard to make this place an enjoyable, amazing place to learn. One of the things that I've noticed that everyone has an issue with is the bathroom situation. If we fix the bathrooms, which isn't a hard fix, we encourage people to do two things. Number one, they want to stay here and learn. And number two, it raises the pride of the school, just like a house. If you see a clean bathroom, you keep the house clean. So my recommendation on that, and it goes back to budgets, right? As you've heard several people say, we have a surplus in the budget, $40,000 actually right now. We can do a lot with that, right? The Wi-Fi issue, that's a big one. I remember I was taking a business class last semester, and not only could we not get through, but the teacher couldn't even give the lecture. This is 2015, and we're losing money and we're losing education for issues that are simple to fix. The third thing is student involvement. I couldn't agree with Nora more. Student involvement is paramount for us to succeed. We are the future leaders. We are the future movers of the economy of this nation. Whether you want to believe that now or not, it's the truth. I spent 6 years in the military where I learned how to operate nuclear reactors. I was Homer Simpson, right? Go figure. And the one thing that we were taught from day one was to question everything and don't focus on the tree, but look at the forest. How do you make the whole place better? Right? So, going back to things like improving the website, right? So how do we get the students involved with the website? Well, we have a fantastic computer department. We have classes that actually teach web design. How about with the ASO money? We give a scholarship for $1,000 for the best design on the website, and it also allows team building and exercises with the actual classes here to make the design better for our school, something they can add on their resume. We have a daycare center, and you'd be shocked. I've asked so many people on this campus, I've spoken to class after class, and people don't know about that. You know, these are the things that if we work together, not we can, together we will improve. So, please, I would love to have your endorsement to be president, and I do plan on doing a few things. So, my name is Albert Thacker, the only Indian Albert you meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Our next candidate, please welcome David Doe.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can I come here? It's a small room. It's a big room with little people. I want you guys to think about something. It's a fact. There are more people alive today than have ever died. I don't know, you're thinking? See, I told you guys that for two reasons. I feel like some of you are looking like fish out of water, about to die. The second reason is I actually do want you guys to think about that. Think about how far we've come. Humanity. Think of all that we've achieved and gained. And I want to do that with student government. Now, I don't claim to be a politician or know anything about politics, really. I'm not using this as a platform to get a better job or work with the government later on. I'm doing this because I care about the students. I want students to succeed. Progress is my main goal. When somebody comes up to me and asks me, ASO President, what do you want to do? I give them a stern look and say, progress, and then pause. Add a little effect in there. And then I continue by saying, moving forward, gaining more than what we have had yesterday. Now that's what I want to do. And I could sit here and tell you all of my credentials and what I've done, but I really want to keep it simple. I want to tell you what I want. What I want is to be there when that cafeteria gets its first vendor, whether it be a district decision or whether it be something from a commercial market. I want to be there when the library is open overnight, 24 hours during midterms or finals week. I want to be there for students to succeed. I want to see more involvement, better quality of life, That's what I want. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, David. Our final candidate for the presidential lineup, please welcome Ali Ashgar.
Hello folks, how are you doing? I hope everyone is having a great time today. Why am I running for ASO president? People ask me that every single day that I'm on the campaign trail. And I tell them, I'm running because I want to serve you. The ASO president is the official representative of the student body over here and everywhere. From DeSoto and Victory to DeSoto or Winnetka. I mean, we have the second largest campus in the district. And I want to make sure that we're well represented. Okay? I guess my powerful voice kind of messed up the mic. Okay. Well, I can talk like this anyways. So, I have a platform here. What do I want to do?
Can't hear you.
Oops. Hello.
I think you turned it off.
Hello. Okay. So, what do I want to do? You know that there's a cafeteria over here that's not being used. We don't have a vendor yet. We need to fight for our rights. How are we going to do that? You need political skills. Luckily, I'm a political science student, so I know a few things about how to get things done. Recently, I was hired as an AFT intern, the American Federation of Teachers. We work with the teachers. We work with everyone on campus. Let me tell you something about myself. I don't have a high ego. But what do I want that's going to get... what do I want? I want you to understand that I'm for you, not against you, you know? And a lot of these candidates have great things in mind, but I have a different approach, and I want everyone to come with me, and let's get things done. So, my name is Ali, and hopefully you vote for anyone you want, okay? Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ali. And with that, our next program would be the debates. But before we do that, we'll have a 2 to 3 minute intercession. So get some water, donuts. Please help yourselves. There's coffee and donuts. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Vice President,
Are you covering this too?
He does radio under the paper and the magazine.
It's Roundup and only the ones that my local Did you get
No, the Wi-Fi is doing weird right now.
Did you get
I got some good ones. Last time it was really good portraits. I'm getting some extras. Oh no, it's fine. I don't really need it. I ended up doing portraits as a rule. So it's not too light. So this is the study.
Was it like a pivotal moment?
So I already know the guy.
I got things there. I got a Milo. His name wasn't on the list that I got text, but I figured you can't. Took it from the way. Obviously doesn't know, but I got this program, so.
That's not development by watching campaign. Like that's a false accent. That's I developed the watching George Bush, Kerry, that's why George Bush only got 3 stars.
Rick Perry. Rick Perry.
Since election next week, I feel like
like communication class.
Thanks for coming. No, you don't. I guess I was looking at you. I was like, wait, is she not gonna do it?
So it's like a group project. And, so we started that. Like, and then we did this really thing. So
He's not on there. He's not on there. He's going to be my role. Yeah, it's
we split off classes and groups, and we all came up with
emotional again? How was it?
it was like a trans section.
Yeah.
No, it was not. So
It'll be like,
it's a really interesting so basically what it was is like we come up with our own set of the stuff that we did on Monday. And we go to the students and guess what we're doing. So our volunteers to go to the other group. And like we got all in everyone's faces and like very touchy and it was no, I mean it was fun for me, but like to be the recipient of that, it was oh, and then so we're trying to portray a feminist, not feminist, society. And one of the girls, they're like, oh, we're trying to portray society. Because there's me and another guy that did it.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I just have to move.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could return to your seats now, we'll be commencing again shortly.
I'm understanding the units right now.
I have to get 3 people, so I started to say
I mean, like, the test is not the full test. You have to actually know stuff, not just college. If you want someone like if you want someone really good at that, everything is customary. 2021.
Yeah, last year. That's how they got it. So this time,
I mean, I think it's just like whenever I go to
so she's really exactly. Like it's really interesting how like basically what we're like this close to each other. We talk about like our balance. It's like stop balance. You don't think about it, but we're always like 3 points. But yeah,
It's fine. Still having to see this or something. As long as the news is here, it's like they might have another platform to be heard.
Yeah. So we basically, like, on Monday, she had so much loss in her ears. He's in talk that way, and then having to get closer and closer up until the point where, like, the cheeks were touching. I'm trying to talk. Yeah. So
He's always he's actually like yesterday.
It's interesting to see like outside their yeah, it's definitely very upper class. Yeah, like in my
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be commencing. If you could return to your seats.
It's crazy. So I want to ask them, I want to tell you what's in trustees. I had my hand up and I was asking.
The next portion of the program will be the debates. First up, Carlos Castellano. How are you doing, Carlos? How do you feel about club council at its current state?
I think it's good, but it's a little bit clean. So I want to make it more complex, more integrated, because I want to improve the communication between clubs.
What are your plans if you are?
So if I'm elected, I have two plans. First, I want to improve the club rush, because I don't want just clubs to come and have their booth and be like, oh, this is what we do and what we do. So I want to have clubs bring this stuff that they do. For example, the video game clubs. Like if they do video games, I want them to bring like actual video games and have students play them like for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. And so they get to experience what's going to be being part of that club. And I also want to create a funding program where like for clubs so they can have money. Because like ASO only gives them $50 once. So I want them to have more money for their activities.
Do you know that you're the only running candidate for council president?
Yes.
We wish you all the best, Carlos. Next, the treasurers, please, would join us. What do you know about the current ASO budget?
What do I know about the current ASO budget? Definitely our budget is a surplus of students' registration fees. Our surplus of funds has been accumulating for the past semesters. And for me, that should be disposed. That should be shared out to every single individual who asks for it to make the school a better place. That's what I think about our budget.
Well, factually based, I know that as of right now, we have a working budget of about $40,000, which, as Charles mentioned, is quite, a bit of money, and we can do a lot of things with that money. I also know that a bunch of students on campus don't know that the $1 student fee that they pay goes into what we have that's called the student rep account. And that is the budget that I was talking about earlier that we should put to use for students to do activities that will, have them involved with leadership and conferences and stuff like that. And also the $7 ASO fee also comes to us. And I think that if more students knew about that, that the fact that those $7 are coming to us to help student government, that eventually that money can be put to use to better student life on campus, we could have more people, giving that money to ASO where we can make use of it.
If someone wants to plan an event or a committee or a club, what would you tell them as treasurer?
I think that someone who wants to put forth something like that needs to be very well informed, because a lot of people have great ideas, but they don't know where to go or what to do. And I think that it's imperative for them to come in here to ASO and to speak to all the people that will help them gain knowledge and background in regards to what they need to do in order to put a club together or a committee or something like that. And frankly, all of the people on the board are willing and able to give them information on that. So as treasurer, we can inform them on how we would be able to fund them and support them. And aside from that, it's not only, the financial background, but it's everything else they need to know to do. That way we can refer them to the club council president if they want to start a club, or to the vice president who, is in charge of all the committees. So we need to give the information we know, as well as refer them to other people that will be able to provide them with very useful information as well.
Well said, well diverse. Well, for me, myself, what I would say, are you still asking the same question? Of course you are. Anyway, so as a running treasurer, and if seated, basically my goal is, let's be transparent. You want to create a club? I'll tell you, okay, so this is how you'll go about it. Probably this would be the amount I could share to you. And from there, we can talk about business. We can talk basic supply and demand. We can talk about simple economics. As a club, you'll need funds. Why do you need funds? To make sure that your club will create a diversity, a better society for our students. And on my part, I will support you 100% as long as you meet the criteria of making sure that the school is a diversity and will give the students a better education, a better student life, not only to provide your satisfaction, but the satisfaction of everyone. Because it's a two-way street. I provide for you, you provide for all the students. Thank you very much.
Our final question. Why should you be entrusted with the task of balancing the ASO budget?
Trust. Trust is nothing I can gain in a day. I'd have to build on it. I have to make my rapport. I have to make good standings with my fellow peers, with my fellow board members, and with the faculty and staff. Definitely, I myself I was born with a golden spoon. I went to culinary school. Culinary school is expensive. I didn't take out loans. But definitely I know how money should be dispersed, how money should be held onto. I myself am good with money, definitely. Growing up in a family business, I know how hard it is to disperse money. And as for that, with the trusted funds, I'll make sure that everyone gets the respected fund within a reasonable amount. And as long as my stand is, as long as it will make the student's life better, I'll give you what you request for.
This is my second semester at Pierce. So it's my second semester in ASO as well. I came to Pierce and I started with student government right off the bat because I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew that this was for me. And not only is this a personal gain and a personal benefit, but as many of the candidates have said earlier, this is something to help everybody else because we're all here for the same thing. We want to gain education, we want to gain experience, and we want to go out into the world and make our impact. In my short time here, I have gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. I've worked closely with our current treasurer, and I'm also the current representative of the finance committee, and that is the direct lead towards the budget and the financing and the management that we have to do and that the treasurer has to do. So I think that I have what it takes to be able to do what a treasurer needs to do. This job requires responsibility and it requires integrity, and I think that I have both of those traits, and I am more than willing to be able to put that on the table, not only for our student government, but as well as for the campus in general.
Thank you for that. And with that, we'll conclude for the questions of the treasurer.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be moving on to the vice president candidates, Nora Hervani and Barbara Lombrana. Both of you speak about being involved on campus in several organizations. How do you plan on continuing that involvement while being vice president?
I continue being the same active as I've always been, since way before I came to college. That's part of what makes me who I am. I am an older student that is coming back to complete a goal that I started over 30 years ago. I've worked in the business world out there. I've raised my children. And now being back at school, like I said earlier, that's all I wanted to focus on when I first came here. But then after seeing, the issues and things going on, that's just, I want to be a part of things. I enjoy being active. And that's, it's kind of just going on the way I am now. It's really not, I'm active now in ASO. This is my second semester. I currently serve as the club council president, which I was elected to that by my fellow senators last semester when the elected person from last year made the choice to step down. I just enjoy, being active and making a difference.
Thank you. Okay, so also, it's my second semester here at Pierce and my second semester as student government. I've always been a part of my community, like Barbara. I already came up with this idea that I was going to start by myself. I'm going to make a Pierce community outreach program, like how we had it back in high school, where there are different sections, such as like helping children with tutoring skills. The less fortunate children that can't afford tutors, we go in there as a group, we go and we tutor them like every other week for 1 or 2 hours, however it may be. We can join the Boys and Girls Club of Canoga. We can do the Toys for Tots. We can do the dresses where you donate your clothes that you don't wear anymore to people that need them. Homeless activities, stuff like that, that's what I've already planned. Also, Phi Theta Kappa AGS, I'm already a part of that too. And I'm head of this committee chair of student outreach, so I want to continue my involvement.
Thank you for that. Listed in the Constitution, the Vice President is also the Director of Committees. How do you plan on making sure that the committees run smoothly?
Well, me and Barbara, we have a little truce thing, and we both definitely agree that we are both fit for this Director of Committees. We are both absolutely in love with helping others out and achieving their goals and inspiring others to join in and be a part of organizations and get the word out there. So whoever gets elected for this position, we have each other's backs. We both have different experiences. We both have knowledge that can definitely be used towards this Director of Committees chair, and I want to get students involved, and as well as getting the committees out there and letting people know what we offer to them and create better events with better purpose, with more people joining.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat the question?
Listed in the Constitution, the Vice President is also the Director of Committees. How do you plan on making sure that committees run smoothly?
and how I plan on making the committees within ASO run smoothly if I am elected as vice president, because they do the other responsibilities besides running the meeting is overseeing the committees. After attending the leadership conference that our board just got back from in March, it was put out there and that our ASO government, our ASO body should be focusing on issues. It's great to have the carnivals and the different, events going on, because it has been proven that enrichment in student life helps in academics also. I would like to see that our ASO really get more on focused on the issues, on how to make Pierce better. And I would like to see, I think we have a lot of committees within ASO that they kind of, they all look about doing the same type of things. So I'd like to see us maybe revamp that on how we could make that a different thing, and maybe have one entity that is the organizer and the planner of events. ASO fund that, but we as ASO student government and senators really focus on the student government part of it. But as you asked, being director, again, revamping so that maybe there's not all these separate little committees that seem to all be trying to do the same thing, but to unite those and to really make them maybe a few less committees, and so that more people can be involved in it, and also get the word out there to the student body that you don't have to be a senator to be a part of these committees. It's open to any student and to engage them, because I think the more that we have, the better we'll be.
Thank you so much. And with that, we will conclude the debates for the Vice President. We'll now be moving on to the presidential lineup.
Keep your voice still.
Yeah. What are some campus issues that you plan on resolving?
First of all, Omar, thank you for asking that question. As far as issues, well, the obvious one is the bathrooms, right? The bathrooms need to be clean. So there, I spoke to a couple people about this on how to fix it. So we do have janitors, right? But they're former janitors of the LAUSD school district, okay? So how do we get around it? Having thought about this problem long and hard, I decided that there are two things to do. Number one, every single day, next to the bathrooms, right, you see nothing but trash. I'm going to go every day to the dean to see what kind of money is being allocated, what is being done to fix it. If it's a cash flow problem, can we take some of our surplus and put that in there? Do we need to contract out? Figure out the logistics on how to do it, okay? Number two, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, the big topic, right? Okay, so there's an argument that these buildings are 7 years old and we don't have proper Wi-Fi access because of the age of the buildings. Well, guess what? It doesn't take a lot of money to purchase air rays, to purchase mobile towers that can be installed in the classrooms. There's budgets. The school has budgets that are allocated specifically for that purpose. If we need to augment that, so be it. Okay, then the question comes up, how do we augment that budget? Okay, we have the $7 plus the $1. You know, Charles and I over the break, we had a really long talk about ways to bring in funding. One of the things I learned was about the bookstore. Charles told me that the ASO actually used to manage the bookstore, and every student got a 10% discount. Well, that margin, figure out a way if we can bring that back. Now, another thing, I had a long talk with the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper. the one thing about business is that when you bring business anywhere, it attracts other business, right? It's like bees to honey. So we have a student body of, nearly 25,000 prime age demographic for businesses to advertise in the school newspaper. I cleared it with the editor, and he said, yeah, they actually have space for it. So over spring break, I went to local businesses to see if they would be willing to entertain businesses here at Pierce College, right? I went to Cricket Wireless, worked out a deal with a brand new Cricket Wireless that's opening up. I said, hey, would you be open to an idea of giving a 10% discount on cell phones, for cell phone plans for students, right? It's not so much about the discount, but you bring him in, it attracts other businesses, and that's how you increase revenue. I would also like to say, as far as food, the cafeteria, I worked out some of the costs also, because we do have an open cafeteria space for institutional food. For example, it's about $2 a meal, right? That's what you get at institutional meals. But that's not very healthy, nor is it nutritious, right? So how do you attract the likes of, say, someone like a Subway, or Jamba Juice, or even, something healthy over here? Business. That's it.
Was that from, can you ask me the question?
What are some campus issues that you plan on resolving?
That is a good question. Thank you for asking that, Omar. Besides the real obvious ones that affect everybody, like the Wi-Fi issue, the food issue, transportation, parking space, I'm only one person, and I don't face all the adversities or problems that every student faces. I don't face Sarah's problems, I don't face your problems. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to survey students, see what they want, what they need. Disabled students, they need carbon copy paper to take notes. People like Roxanne, who like, the environment, how can we recycle better? How can we change to electronic copies and not waste paper anymore? I really just want to broaden my scope, and that's what I want to do.
We have a lot of issues on campus, and it's sad that we don't really look into all of them, because everyone on this campus has an issue, and we haven't done our job, which is to survey them and to ask them one-on-one what issues they're facing. I have done so, and I know what it's going to take to get a vendor in there. All three of us have business experience, whether it's working in a business or David and I being in the same accounting class, learning the fundamentals of business. But how are you going to get a vendor in there? The truth is that you're going to have to negotiate. We're going to have to fight for our rights to get a vendor in the cafeteria. Second problem is getting reduced bus passes. It's high time. We need them. I don't just talk about it. Guess what? I'm an advocate for transportation. Let me show you right here. I'm going to this conference. I've been invited through my internship with the AFT. I'll be able to speak to the mayor about this issue. Let's spearhead this issue, and let's get the Board of Trustees to agree upon this issue. It's high time. Number 3 is the farm. I want to make sure that our farm stays intact. We're able to preserve that open space, and I want to work with administration, faculty, staff, whoever's involved. Dr. Shapiro, I want to work with them, and I want to preserve that space because we're one of the few community colleges that has a farm. And I want to make sure that no big development takes over that space. Because if they do, that's a sad travesty.
How do you plan on being the voice between the students and the administrators?
Thank you for the question, Omar. First of all, I want everyone to know I am the furthest thing from afraid that you could ever meet when it comes to an authority figure and when it comes to voicing an opinion. To me, an injustice or wrong, something that needs to be fixed, is something that needs to be brought up. One thing I've learned is that people don't know how to read minds. If you don't make a problem evident, you just can't assume that someone knows about it. You actually have to tell them. It's weird. We aren't psychic. And so I plan on, I actually attended the debate for the Teacher Senate the other day. I plan on having an active, open relationship with them. I plan on being basically, the dean is going to be sick of me, because until we get these issues done, there's no progress. I mean, we have, my fellow candidates brought up really, really good points. The farm, the broader scope issues of the bus passes. Going and letting them know, the faculty, the administrators, the people that actually handle the finances, letting them know that these are the issues and this is the vox populi, this is what we care about, is the only way that we can actually keep these things for us. So no, my answer to you is, I don't think I'll have any issue going and talking to anyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question. How do you plan on being the voice between the students and the administrators?
Alright, I think that, like Albert is, I am not afraid to voice my opinion and be the voice of students. I sit on PCC with Alex, which is the Pierce College Council, and I have voiced my opinion before. Me and Ali both went to speak about the food truck issue, and we have the food trucks. We're not afraid of speaking the voices of the students. We're here to help them. At least I am.
Thank you, David. Same question. How do you plan on being the voice between the students and the administrators?
Easy. I've already spoken to Rolf Schleicher. He's the Vice President of Administrative Services. I've talked to Larry Cross when we were going through the food truck issue. I got the RFPs through him, and I was able to give that to our student trustee so he could make sure that, when we were going through that crisis, that those contracts were at the district office, and then when we were there to speak, that they were there so they would get voted on by the Board of Trustees. I'm not afraid. I sit on the accreditation committee. That's the most important committee right now, because in March of 2016, we are going to go through accreditation. And I voiced my opinion and how things should be done based on how things went at my high school, because we were ingrained on accreditation. So I know what it's going to take to get us accredited with our resources that we have. So I'm not afraid to talk to Rolf. I'm not afraid to talk to Kathleen. I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. I don't mind barging in there at any time, any place, anywhere.
Thank you for that powerful statement, Ollie. Our final question before we conclude with the debates and move on to open questions to the public. Slightly redundant, however, how do you plan on addressing the students' issues?
Thank you for the question, Omar. So first of all, I do want to clarify what, David, it is our collective voice, right? If it's the president that speaks or if it's a senator that speaks, we speak for the students, not for ourselves. So given that, to address those needs, it's paramount that you know what those needs are. Since I became a senator, I just started talking to people. I've just randomly went to class, random classes and dropped in and asked people, hey, what do you like about the school and what do you need fixing? What is something that if you were to come here a semester or 2 semesters from now, you would like to see different than this semester? It's something that's fixable. And the 3 that I get, and that's why, it sounds simple, but it's so complex and paramount to getting it done, are the bathrooms, the Wi-Fi, and business. People want options. People want this. The difference between this campus in Santa Monica college. I toured Santa Monica College, right? It was a nice excuse to go to the beach. But, you know, it was clean. It was happy. There were posters all over for activities, you know. And I think another way to understand what the students want is by giving them a forum, by creating transparency. I had a long talk with the editor of the school newspaper, and one of the things that I wanted to do, and he really liked the idea, was that if I become president, I want to have an article, just the President's Corner, where we talk about, and he or she basically addresses all the topics brought up in the meetings during the ASO. Also, have a Twitter and or a Facebook page where they can actually voice their complaints. You know, something as simple as that is so crucial because it just obviates any sort of confusion. You know, clubs, every single candidate up here, including myself, have all brought up the fact that people don't know what the clubs are. You don't know what activities you can go to or what meetings you have a voice in. You know, by opening that, it's a way for me and my team and the senators and for all of us to know what we are collectively thinking. And it makes me a better communicator with the faculty. Thank you.
How do you plan on addressing the students' issues on campus?
Sorry. I plan on addressing the students' issues by finding out what the issues are first. Of course, there are the big ones, like I said before, but I really want to lay down the foundation that a strong fortress is built from within. And we need to know what students want. And not only do I want to represent as, you know, the voice, but I want to represent as a whole, as a team. Earlier, Albert played off of what I said about unity. How do we get things moving? We need unity. Like I said at the other introduction, the student's voice is the strongest voice on campus. The reason schools exist are for students. We just need to unite. Really, there's no unity. What was the turnout for the vote last year? 0.1%? 0.01%, not even remotely big. I think we need to get more student involvement.
So the way to utilize and understand and ascertain the issues of our students is through the usage of social media. I want all the students to use the social media and tell us as a whole collective body what those issues are. Of course, I know the main issues. I know how to address them. I know how to fix them. Another way to channel those ideas and concerns is by me going to the Student Affairs Committee meeting in downtown that happens once a month. I can tell you for sure that I've been to every one of those meetings since October. So I know not only what the issues are on this campus, but I know the other issues on the other campuses. You know, I know what it's going to take. So I hope that I can what I also want to do before I end is I want to have a constituent hour where all the students come to me during an hour of the week and tell me actually what the problems they're facing and how I can fix them. So thank you very much.
Thank you all. Now we'll be moving on to questions from the public. If the audience has any questions that they would like to address to the presidents, now would be the best time to ask those questions. Alex?
Congratulations to all the three of you, and it was really fun, and I'm enjoying sitting down here listening to you guys. Brilliant ideas, what do you guys want to do for the student government, and I just wish I can have more time to be here and be with you and see how you execute all this. But anyways, in peers here and maybe the other colleges here, you find that most of the students here, they're students and also they have either part-time job or full-time job outside. And most of the students, they come here, they take the class, and then back to their car, and they're off to work and or wherever they're going to. How are you guys going to try to change these? At least have the students know that a place like this is here and make them engaged instead of just from the village to the parking lot 7 and they're off. Most people don't even know where the administration building is. How are you guys going to change this with the student? How would you like to do? Sure.
A perfect way of alleviating those concerns is advertising. Right now, if you look at the Pierce website, there's nothing about ASO elections, nothing whatsoever. So I want to change that first and foremost. And what I also want to do is, when new students come over, we have go days. So I want to make sure that in the summer, when new and incoming students are coming, and I'm sure most of them have jobs, I want to make sure that our ASO is over there helping them to come to this school and understand where all the buildings are and how things will get done. So, thank you.
All right. Well, I think this goes back to creating better student life, student involvement. Well, that is the question, right? I want to be able to alleviate the stress off the students, so maybe they don't have to work as much. Maybe introducing a discount card. That's what I've been wanting to do with something that has an ASO logo on it. The IDs that we have for Pierce, they have the ASO logo on it, but how many times do you look at the ID? With the discount card, you'll be looking at it all the time, because who doesn't want to save money? This discount card would apply to any chain restaurants that would be willing to do this. And from the conference that I went to at DC, one of the speakers said that he said that this is one of the special programs that help students out at other ASOs, and he was saying that this is their business. Why would they decline extra advertisement for their business? He said 9 out of 10 restaurants would say yes to this. Another thing is that why can't we create more student jobs on campus? I know a lot of people that benefit from student jobs that allows them to be on campus more, allow them to be aware. A lot of the people who work here are involved. Another thing would be that I had something. What was the question again? It was. What was?
Students that are coming here that have part-time jobs, right? Mm-hmm. How do you get them more engaged so that they just don't leave from the building and go straight to the parking lot?
Oh yeah. Also, I'd like to, initiate senators going to talk to students. Like Ali said, advertisement. It's a key for people to know. Create more of an incentive for them to recognize us. Stuff like that.
Mr. President, first of all, thank you so much for attending. And for those of you who don't know, I've had the privilege of getting to know this gentleman a little bit, and I hope if I get elected, I can, carry on at least a tiny bit of your legacy, at least. So, and I know how much you care about the students here and why this question matters to you. This might sound a little out of the box, okay? But we need to make this campus a little more fun, right? Can we all agree on that? Right? It's just stark and it's barren. So one of the ways to spice it up is when I first got here, I didn't know where anything was, right? I came and I was like, where's the English building? Right? So a very simple solution to this, and we have a woodworking shop, is to make posts. Just little posts. English that way, geography that way, or, help me out, math that way. I'm thinking of the village, right? So posts, number one, so you know where you're going. Number two, we have an amazing area. I don't know if you all have seen it yet, but that nature trail that's between there, where you see fossils from the beginning of the, Precambrian all the way down, right? And then there's a turtle pond and a place to hang out. Well, I would like to encourage, one thing that always makes me happy is music, right? So I would encourage people, and work out a place where there's a little pagoda down there for students to come and sing. Music, when it hits you, you feel no pain, right? But it makes everyone happy. Another thing that I'm currently participating in, I'm doing the play here. How many of you knew that we have an amazing theater? But the thing is, once again, we live in 2015. The power of social media and viral marketing is key to doing this. If the demographic doesn't know, if the fellow students don't know, they're unaware of it. So, immediately after the play, To Kill a Mockingbird, right after that, there's a singing group, and then there's a dance troupe that our dancers are doing. So to be actively engaged in that is also key. Now, as a final thing, as an afterthought, right? What I think would make it just a little bit, friendlier is, just a little bit better lighting at night. Lit walkways so when you go to the parking lot, it's not dark. I saw this TED Talk about architecture and how lighting plays such a vital role. It can turn something scary into something magical. So simple fixes. That's what I would do. Thank you.
So now we will move to questions for anyone along the candidates. So if you have a question for any of the candidate members, now we'll be taking them.
How you guys doing? Good, awesome. So this is for the presidents, VP too, I guess. Everyone, why not? A lot of people are talking about Wi-Fi. How many of you have been to a foundation meeting for Pierce College? Just curious. Okay.
I will be.
Okay, so there's a start. Definitely check that out. Secondly, most importantly, in my book, I'm taking a class, and it's a very open class. Everyone talks about everything. And there's literally half a dozen kids who choose between paying for the bus or paying for food. And they obviously choose, they're in class, they made their choice. So what are you going to do to help them out?
So let me get this straight. Bender. The first question was on Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Okay. So not many of you know this, but I did get a chance to speak to Dr. Henderson. He's the head of IT. And what did the head of the IT tell me? He told me that he has a staff of 8 people. 8 people for a size of this great big college. Well, Wi-Fi is so slow. You know why? Because the infrastructure has not kept up with the 21st century. So what do we need to do about that? We need to procure more funding for Wi-Fi. And how are we going to do that? We have to fight for that at the Student Affairs Committee meeting, and we need to get that passed through the Board of Trustees meeting. Number 2, your second question was on bus passes and food, right? As I said before, I'm fighting for those bus passes. I myself have to pay for that bus pass. I take the bus everywhere, I take the train everywhere, and I know how difficult it is to pay for it. So that's why I am going to that transportation conference on April 22nd. I'll be there with the ASU president of ELAC, East Los Angeles College, and both of us are going to go over there and we'll try to spearhead this issue with the mayor. The mayor of Los Angeles is going to be there. I'm going to be talking to him. And let's get this done once and for all. It was done before. These yellow reduced bus passes were here on campus. It's about high time we get them back. And, with regards to food, I'll fight for something that's affordable. Last weekend I was at UCLA. The meals are pretty affordable. But, we just have to get something in there that's pretty affordable.
Well, basically, the Wi-Fi issue, same thing as Ali, and the food issue, same thing as Ali. I'm saving some time. The transportation issue, yeah, we want to introduce the tap card back. We want students to have an easier time paying for things. The discount card that I mentioned earlier, that's going to help you pay for food. Another program that I would like to introduce is called the Pantry Program. It's a special program at other ASOs where we have a room where all year we get donations of food, canned food, and stuff like that, that students who need it can just come in and get it. I think that would be a very great program. It's been successful at other colleges. The thing is, we are in an assessment building. We are not in a student union building. That's something that I want to fight for. I want to come back to across the walkway over there. That is the original student union that we were supposed to get as ASO, where we can have a facility that houses, student events, basically where we can, actually be an ASO. We can't even move that poster board over there without asking plant facilities or something like that. So that's really what I want to fight for.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Bender. So once again, it goes back to an issue of money, right? Money and infrastructure, as Ali pointed out. To me, infrastructure is not an excuse. Okay, just because the building is 7 years old doesn't mean that I can't have internet access, right? So the question is, what do we do to get money? Well, first of all, we need to know how much money we actually need to fix the problem. Okay, that's not a number I know. How much money do we actually need to get Wi-Fi, high-speed Wi-Fi, throughout the campus? That's the very first thing I want to do. So thank you for letting me know about this foundation meeting. Yet another thing that I didn't know about. So I will definitely come, and I will ask that question, number one. Number two, does the school have the capacity to pay for it? Number three, is it a good program or is it a bad program? Is our ISP, is our internet service provider good or bad for the service that we're paying? Do we get things like Wi-Fi towers and airdrops and wireless routers that have a large radius with our plan? So these questions need to be addressed, number one. And number two, we need to figure out how to pay for it. So one option is go to the school, right? Go to the dean and say, hey, we need to get this done. Because if you don't do it, you're hurting our education. The teachers can't teach, we can't learn, I can't do homework. So you got to fix it. If they're like, oh, well, we don't have money. Fine, okay. What if we were to come up with some of that money to fix it? We do have a surplus. Is that correct? Yes, we have a surplus. So use some of that surplus and fix the problem. Now, as far as the second issue, I'm just going to level with you on this. I want to fix things that I know I can fix and get things in motion for some, at least lay down the groundwork so the next person has no excuse to not follow through with it. Something like a bus pass, that's going to take a while. It's not something that anybody over here can get done immediately. It's true. But what we can do is we can get food in there. We can bring vendors here. Vendors, once again, bring business into the campus. Make this a business-friendly campus for people to come in. So they offer deals like they do all over CSUN, right? Allow people to come in that cater to different groups. Charles brought up a very good point earlier about diversification. We need to address those needs. Believe it or not, there are vegetarians and vegans, and we have to address those things. So what I want to do is I want to see, number one, what the cost is of operating that. If we operate that cafeteria, what level of operation do we want it? That is affordable, yet is not institutional. Trust me, I've eaten institutional food, it's not very good. So
You know, we want to make it healthy, we want to make it nutritious, but at the same time affordable for every student if they so choose. You know, personally, I'm here in school Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 10. 10 to 10. And my options are food trucks. And don't get me wrong, I love the coffee at the Freudian Slip. Sip. Slip. Sip. But at the same time, I'd love to have variety. I'd love to have options. I'd love to have a cafeteria. So for me, once again, find the budget, find out how much it costs, see what the school can do about it, and then if the school can't, come up with a compromise. I make compromises all the time, right? I just got done with a deal, and for a lot of money, for a completely unrelated business. We went back and forth and back and forth. You don't want one compromise. To get, you gotta give. So if the school doesn't want to pony up, we open our coffers and come to a middle ground. Otherwise, guess what? We have the power of the press. We have the student newspaper to write an article about it. Thank you.
Thanks. Michael, you asked about the Pierce Foundation. I actually am a board member on the foundation. I was asked to join that and was voted on and became a member a few months back. And the Wi-Fi does come up every month. We do have a foundation board meeting every month. And anyone is open and welcome to come to there, to see what's going on and to address different issues. And the Wi-Fi does come up, at each of things. And so it's something that the teachers are very, adamant about getting fixed along with the students, because again, a lot of them can't even teach the way that they feel they need to be teaching in the classrooms. And then the Wi-Fi, when you might get it for 1 minute and then the next minute it's out and stuff. So that is a big issue, and I know that is being looked on, and yes, we get told over and over and over again the infrastructure, and that's what it is. Well, like you said, there's a lot of homes and stuff out there that were built way back when, but yet they can get Wi-Fi, right? So that is something that we all need to work together, and the more students that are voicing their concerns along with the faculty, and it only takes one person to step up to ask about something, but then when we go as a unity, as students and faculty together, that's the way to get things rolling and moving, because everyone has their plates full, and it takes, everybody working together. Also with the food and the transportation, getting vendors and stuff here on campus, there's a lot of red tape that they have to go through, and that's what makes it hard. That's why we don't have vendors in here. Again, we have a state-of-the-art cafeteria that's just sitting there, not being utilized. We have a lot of space here on Pierce College that's just sitting there, not being utilized. So again, as students, we need to voice, our concerns and what it is that we need, and work with the faculty and with the staff to find solutions and to get it done. And again, like you said, no one person can do it. It's going to take all of us.
Okay, so I took Communications 101 last semester during the hours of 7 to 10, and every class in that area had trouble with not only Wi-Fi, but also outlets, with the TV, with projectors. They had to bring in their own system, which I don't think that was necessary to do, because we're in school. We should be providing this stuff for the students. It's ridiculous how the teachers have to drag on their own equipment, which they pay for out of their own budget, to help teach and educate other students. So along with Wi-Fi, I think we're also having other problems such as electricity. I honestly don't know what I can do for Wi-Fi. I believe that's pretty much the president's role. However, I will be there to provide support, no doubt. And I will try to get people involved, and I will try to get people to stand up for something that we all are complaining about. Because this is a school, this is an area where we should be learning constantly, and everyone knows that right now the internet is the #1 most useful thing. You go into the library, everyone's on the computer, no one's checking out books. So that's a big deal for us. As for food trucks and food in general, as David said, that pantry idea, I think that's absolutely amazing. I also go to East LA College Mondays and Wednesdays, and I spoke to some senators in my class, and they have that pantry thing, and they provide it to everyone, to faculty, to staff, to everyone, and students. So I think that's really important, and I will be there to get the word out and everything. So thank you.
I think throughout the time that we've been here, we've come to the conclusion that these things, the three things that we're currently talking about, which are Wi-Fi, food, and the transportation, are so important. And there are so many things behind it as to why they're important and why we need to reach out to the students and why we should help them. But as you know, we've mentioned before, it's an issue about money, and that's where, you know, the position for treasurer, you know, I think that we should be more open to providing the school and the students with money so that they can do something about these issues. Because we can talk about the issues all we want. We can bring them up at meetings and we can, you know, just try to fight for it verbally, but it's not going to do much if, you know, we don't have some sort of background and if we don't have a plan and if we don't put forth things on our side as well. Because we can present the idea to the campus, but you know, what are they going to do about it? If obviously it's been an issue for a while now, and if there has been nothing done, then maybe we should do something about it as student government. So I think that that's something that we need to take into account. It's not just, you know, presenting the idea, but it's following through with it.
Well said, my fellow candidates. Okay, Michael, I like your question. And let me give you something. Do you have class afterwards? Are you going home?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Here. Let me give you a bag. Let me give you a couple of chips. So as you go home, you're munching on something, you won't get hungry. That shows that ASO is supporting you. Same with the school. Thank you, books. Thank you, students, for. Okay. So let's go back to basics. Right now I have with me the black and whites of what's happening in the campus. To get your answers straight, I have here the map that says all things that has to be changed will be fixed by 2020. We're all gone by then. We're all gone by then. Who'll take over? A new set of students. Which means, why don't we make the campus a better place, right? Let's get everything done by this year, next year, when we're still here. All right? So, talking to budget, talking to as regards to how much we have, they're working on it actually. It's just a matter of where they're going to get their money, where are they going to get their funds. Like when I agree with what Mr. Albert Thacker said, we need businesses here in the campus to be able to achieve the lighting, best internet possible, at the same time, better facilities for everybody. We just need businesses to come in here. No businesses, who do we rely on? We rely on the students' money. We could outsource, better outsourcing, bring them in, providing better services, better, there you go. They're all filling it out because we're here to provide for you. Second of all, so actually lastly, I have here their priority list. If I'm going to tell you that their campus-wide telecommunication fixer-uppers is actually their 6th priority, should it be in the top 5 or at least top 3? Why? They are lacking the budget that they need. Because like what I said, as long as we bring in, like what Albert said, as long as we bring in businesses, we're good to go. So if anyone needs this, I'll be more than happy to share and show my support to the school. Thank you very much.
I think there's not much to say than what all the candidates have mentioned. But whoever is selected, I'm totally gonna support them because I think that we have to change this and make the change is very important for the students. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Michael. Candidates will have to restrict the questions to 2 minutes. Thank you. And next, can I get McGee?
Hello, I'm a new student on campus. Yeah, I came directly out of high school, and in high school I was in government, so I know a little bit more. I know a little bit of what you guys are talking about and how to affect change in student population or how to increase involvement. I have 2 questions. This can go to any of you guys to answer. One, I was thinking about in student government in high school, I was involved with, we got to go to a lot of leadership conferences. I just wanted to know, what's your opinion and what do you think, what's the importance of, if you are able to go, what's the importance of a leadership conference? If you have the funding, and how would it benefit the entirety of the school, and what are things when you do go? What are the things that you can do to impact the students when the time you go? The second question Well, the second question, please. I'm just a new student. Okay.
Thank you for your question, McGee.
Oh, thank you.
McGee Albert Thacker. I'd love to answer this for you. I had the privilege of, when I was younger in school, where I got to hear and see a lot of really, really, really inspiring people, you know. And I'll tell you this. I think that as far as going to leadership conferences, they're extremely good for team building, but I also want to bring that aspect here to the school. What I think that we need to do is to bring in speakers here at the school. Bring in congressmen, bring in representatives, bring in sit-in judges, bring in personalities, celebrities who live in LA. They would come here to speak. Bring in pastors or rabbis or religious leaders, or bring in people, doctors, lawyers, educators, to come and enrich us so we can all learn. And I think that as far as a new student, Miggy, if you were to open up your newspaper and see a calendar of events for all these guest speakers, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you got to see Kip Thorne from Caltech come in and give a lecture on black holes one day, and then the next day you saw, a sitting judge, an appellate court judge, talk about their view of ethics, and then another day you had a TV star come in just to talk about their experiences, what it's like on set. That's, going back to the president's question, that's how we make people stay. That's how we make this campus fun and vibrant and alive. So that's what I would do. Thank you.
Regarding the importance of leadership conferences, it's something that should be afforded to every student if they're interested in going. And one of the big issues here at Pierce is we have over 20,000 students, and what I hear over and over and over again is, well, I never heard about that. So getting the information out there about going on. My own experience, even in being an ASO, is a lot of times I don't always get the information. So that is a huge issue that we need to address in growing our ASO and our student involvement. And then not only those that may go someplace else for a conference, but when they come back, they should be sharing that information. It's a time of networking across the nation, as we did in Washington, D.C. not too long ago, a month ago. And it's networking, finding out what's working and what's not working at community colleges across the nation, bringing that back and sharing it with everyone, not just those of us that are senators and ASO or on the executive board, but out there with the students, in the classrooms, with our faculty, with our staff, and that's putting it going forward and not just having, it be like a secret club.
As Barbara said, I definitely agree. Based off of my high school experience. I've always been a part of like leadership clubs and everything. I created 2 clubs of my own, and I was so fortunate to get it on, as I said, PBS for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we got the entire football team, the entire everything. They had a 1-hour special on us and on my club, and we met so many great speakers that definitely gave me a new perspective. I believe that these experiences that we have, going to leadership conferences, I've yet to go to one here at Pierce, but it's amazing. You learn what other people are going through. You understand the different schools and what their problems are, and by knowing what their problems are, we can use it to prevent it happening or it occurring on this campus alone. I remember Walton leadership team, it was this team, we had Ted Turner come. I don't know if you guys know him, but he owns like the Braves, a chain of restaurants. He's a very big guy down in the South. And he came and he taught us so many things that I have used to this day. Leadership is absolutely amazing. I feel like everyone should be a part of ASO or should be inspiring other people to be the best that they can be, because you use these skills throughout your entire life. So it shouldn't be a problem of money. I think we have enough money to at least pay more than half of whatever the cost may be. But everyone needs these skills and these experiences throughout life. So, yes.
Okay, let's talk about leadership. What is leadership? Let's break it down. Leader and ship. You are the leader. You're the captain of your ship. Hence, reason leadership. Lead. I mean to lead. Growing up in a culinary school, having worked in restaurants and hotels, I've had experiences wherein a chef, I would submit to him, my dish before it goes out. You know what he does? He throws it out the garage, throws it out the garbage, throws it out the kitchen. What's that? What does that mean? He means that you have no leadership yet. You cannot serve this dish. You can't give this out to people. That's what you mean by leadership. You have to make sure that whatever you bring out or whatever you show people represents your stand in life, represents your stand in that particular order. In the kitchen, everyone has a leader station. You just can't do anything. You have to follow the leader. The leader has to be fun. The leader has to be spontaneous, and the leader has to make sure that he or she works with you, not works just because, oh, I'm a leader, I will use this authority. But as a leader, I will make sure that I will work with you, not work at you, not work on you, but work with you side by side.
Thank you, Michael. First of all, Michael, you're a liar. You are the treasurer right now. Second of all, I think leadership, those conferences are very important. I went to DC not too long ago, and I came back very inspired. I think people underestimate the word inspiration. I definitely didn't know that feeling until I went to those things and saw those people speak about what they want and what we should be doing. Definitely, I think that once you go to those conferences and you come back, you're just like a module for everybody to use. I know that I've talked to many other people, many other students, and showed them what my experience was like when I went. And I definitely, inspired them to think about what's going on with the campus. Not only that, they've come to me and told me what's wrong with their campus, for them at least. And I think that it's very important.
So conferences are an important way for us to really meet fellow community college students. I know that in May, we will be going to the General Assembly where we'll get to see all the other students at the community colleges. And, if I'm elected as ASO president, we are going to March in March. This time around we didn't have the opportunity, but I'm going to make it a priority. And we go to Sacramento and we protest with our other students. And we go to our assemblymen and state senators and tell them that do not strip away our funding for education. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you, McGee. Yes.
Hi, my name is Paul, and there's a movement that's happening on campuses across the country and across the world right now. It's called the Makerspace. And I'm the president, co-president of the Makerspace here on the campus at Pierce. And we are actually meeting with the Facilities Advisory Committee next Tuesday at 2:30 over at the Student Services Building. And we are requesting the old library as space to actually set up. We will be the first college campus within LACCD to have this. So we will be the leaders of this movement. And this movement is very significant. I asked earlier about students and getting them to participate and finding out what they're doing, and that's, you know, that part-time student that's taking one class in the evening, or the full-time student that's here, you know, from 10 to 10. And you know, our movement here on campus is growing quickly. We have 44 members. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. You know, this is by word of mouth at this point. And I guess my biggest challenge is, you know, we're still working on a mission statement and finalizing all that, but the purpose is a collaboratory on campus where there's already funding provided. So we'll have 3D printers, we'll have laser cutters, we'll have a photography studio, we'll have software, tools that students will have available to them. It'll be run by students. It will help them with scholarships and doing projects and with their education. The other goal is to get an engineering student to sit next to a fashion merchandising student, and they can collaborate on a project together or ask each other questions, and that engineering student isn't afraid or feels out of place next to that fashion merchandising student. That they have skill sets that can really bring them together, and which would bring our community together. I guess my question to you is, well, first of all, your support would be fantastic next Tuesday at the meeting. Just your presence would be great. Sorry for the shameless plug, but and the other thing is, what would you suggest to get the word out, or how could we, as a community, get everybody involved in a project that's huge, that would be significant for our campus, and we would have that leadership role within our community college, the LACCD?
Going to start off with Albert and move down.
Paul, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for bringing Maker's Place here. Much like your movement, my name is a grassroots movement as well as a write-in candidate, so I empathize with you. I'd love to share something with you. I remember I read about Steve Jobs and what Steve Jobs did. You know, so there you have Apple, right? And Apple, you have these brilliant engineers, and then you have these brilliant designers, and then you have these brilliant software guys, right? And they make this incredibly beautiful place, incredibly beautiful campus. Nobody's sitting together. Nobody's talking. It's clicks, right? One click, one click, one click. And what happened was that he ended up making one bathroom at the end of a long hallway and a water cooler at the end of one. And out through that, everyone was forced to walk to the same place and walk back together. And that concept of synergy is where the iPhone came from, where you have an engineer with a designer sitting down at the table and coming up with something. So what you're doing is vital, you know, to get people to think outside the box and stretch themselves creatively, expressively, you know, learn about things that they wouldn't have even thought about learning before. It's amazing. So to me, once again, viral, 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 right? You have the internet, first of all, with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media, right? We have an ASO. We actually have an ASO Twitter page. I follow it. Anyone else? Okay. Anyway, we have an ASO Twitter page. We have ASO accounts at a Pierce College page. So we should send out tweets. You know, some of these have 2,500 followers. Number two, please go see the roundup and have them do an article on you. Just so that way, it's surprising, but everyone reads the roundup here. I mean, this is probably the most, newspaper editors would be fooled because they come here and they see newspapers are off the shelf. So, you know, if they write an article about you, people will come. This is the kind of stuff, this is the kind of thing that brings not only our community together, but also makes college enriching and fun. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Paul.
I hope that helped.
Yeah.
The Roundup is a great resource.
You're talking about it.
The Roundup is a great resource, and also, you know, Pierce College, we have our own radio station, and they do different, you know, programs. I would say get on there and have that, because they put that online, and they have a lot of followers in that. As I was saying before, getting the word out to our students. When your club started this semester and I found out about it as being club council president, I was so excited about it because, you know, Alex was saying, how do we keep students here? You know, instead of just going from class to the parking lot. That is a great opportunity, you know, and for them to come to something like that and to maybe learn something new and to network. One of the things, word of mouth. It's been proven that that is the way to get the information out there. Go to classrooms, make the presentations. I've been doing it as campaigning this week. I've been doing it for, you know, other programs, town hall or day of politics or whatever. The professors are very open and willing to allow someone to come in for just a few minutes to get the information out there, because where are you going to captivate the students' attention? They're in the classrooms. Get it out to the classrooms.
I agree with Albert and Barbara. I just want to add on to that. A way of advertising would definitely have to be like, this is the way how I went through it. It's kind of like crazy, but it works. Okay, so say you print it out, you make it simple, concise, short, sweet. Okay, you print it out on a white piece of paper, right? You get neon colored poster boards, you cut around it, because neon definitely attracts the attention. You're gonna have to post this everywhere, from bathroom stalls to the doors of classrooms to whiteboards. So many classrooms have those cork boards, those whiteboards, and people hang stuff on them. So ask permission, always, you know, put it up there. Definitely though, go to the bathrooms. People put them in the stalls, on the mirrors, that definitely works. The academic center, the tutoring center, the admissions office, so many people are always there. Financial aid line, you can always post. Yeah, 40 and Civ. Like the food trucks, just ask them permission. Make sure it's a neon color because that makes it pop for sure. And you just post it up on there. But that's it.
Let me just answer your question real quick. Paul, do you mind giving me the details for tomorrow's meeting?
It's next Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday. Would you mind giving me the details?
It's next Tuesday at the Student Services Conference Room on the 3rd floor at 2:30.
3rd floor, 2:30. All right. So here's the thing. In regards to your question, in regards to your club, actually, earlier today I was at the diversity committee, and we were talking about that club. We were talking about working with you guys with how to make, basically it's a diversity committee. We are going to make it diverse as a campus. So I would like to inform you that in regards to Makerspace, we are looking forward to be working with you. We would actually be honored to be helping you guys out, making sure that the school is being diverse and not only a one-way street where everyone comes in and goes. What we want is to make everyone's life happy. And with that being said, as the treasurer, I would love as the city treasurer, I would like to support you more than how we are supporting you now, to make it better for everybody. Because that's my goal, to make everything a better place for everybody, starting now, starting tomorrow, but starting now. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to have to take one last question, and then we will be concluding. Sorry.
Thank you, Alex, for letting me take the last question. Thank you, Mom. For the interest of
getting all of us out of here. We've all stuck with it. It's going to be specifically for the future leadership, and that's president and VP. How, speaking as a Black student, and as an active member of Black Student Union, one of the things I've noticed is that there is some type of, not segregation, but separation between the students. Everybody comes and does their own thing. So as future leadership, like if at all you're elected, what are you going to do, or what activities are you going to implement to bring the community together? Because as BSU, one of our main goals is trying to integrate within the community and making it a space where it's one people, it's not you guys, and it's not us guys. So what activities are you going to do, and how are you going to make us more part of the community here?
Thank you, Susan, for that question. Ali?
One great way of doing that is the International Students Day. We had that last semester. We can do that again. That's one way of getting all the people that are diverse and getting them involved. The beauty of this campus is that you can find someone from every country on campus, and each person has a unique story behind them. And one way of bringing that together is having events that cater to each culture and learning from each culture. If I'm elected as president, I want to make sure to keep on doing what Mr. Alex did and hone in and make it even better. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that question. I also think that that's very important. I think unity amongst diversity is very important. I think that I would continue what President Alex has done and create another multicultural day that will hit everybody, broaden the scope, try to get more people to come, because I know that was an issue last time. Try to get more advertisement, try to get more cultures to participate. I was doing the Vietnam booth with Vanna, and we were able to get, things that were relevant to our culture, and we were able to bring videos and have everybody look at what was going on, and I think that's very important. Maybe we can have that more than just one day, I would definitely like to have something that is continuous with that, because I think that's very important. Thank you.
Hello, Susan. That's an excellent question. Deceptively simple sounding, but very hard to answer. Well, first of all, I think that awareness and diversity, I would definitely be working with people that have devoted that to be a prime directive, right? To figure out ways outside the box. For me, I don't like the linear approach. I like the approach that makes sense overall. So just go with me for a second. So number one, in addition to having days where we recognize our multicultural diversity here, right? That brings awareness, but it doesn't negate the problem of cliques or segregation, right? That brings awareness, but it doesn't do anything to solve that problem. Okay, you're unified for an afternoon, but then as the day goes on, or the next day, and I think fundamentally it goes back to what our president Alex keeps bringing up, this concept of there is no openness to this place. It's very stark, it's very barren. It's go in, go out, go in, go out. There's really no places to hang out or break up your path. Once again, it's simple things like architecture, doing some things that give people places to hang out. Not just benches on the side, but maybe something. I don't have to work with people on this, but to create areas, common areas, that are common to all, that are not just concrete. Maybe we get some AstroTurf, I don't know. But something to break up the monotony of just a path. To me, I'm thinking conceptually. You asked what I would like to see. I think that would be a possible solution. In addition to that, one of the things that I really, really, really like, I don't know if you can tell, but I really enjoy eating. So I would love to see a bunch of different food here. So we can have a day that also incorporates different cultures' food. We can have pho, chicken tikka masala, we can have peanut curry, we can have, everything under the sun. I mean, stuff like that on the giant lawn that we never use, to have an activity, I think would be pretty swell. So thank you for the question.
To bring people together so that they're not just, this group here and that group there, that's something that in this short time in this semester I've been trying to do with the clubs and asking them, and getting the information out. We have a representative, we try to get one from each club to come to the club council meetings so that we can share the information about what's going on. And I've seen that a lot of clubs are now collaborating with each other and doing different activities. Whether it be here on campus or off campus. We've had a few of them that I know that have gone bowling together so that they're learning about each other and, having that interaction. And I'd like to see more of that happen, here on campus. Be it, workshops, holding that here on campus, for people to attend, speakers coming, for a wide variety. But again, I think it's all too about getting the information out there and being able to network with each other, because that's what life is when we leave college. It's all about learning and being open to learning. We may not think the way that the next person is, but we should have an open mind and be willing to listen and to accept where they're coming from. And we may, again, not change our mind on something, but at least say, hey, okay, I understand where they're coming from.
Thank you. I definitely agree with them once again. The other day, I was going through club lists and I've noticed so many different cultural clubs listed. I would personally contact them and have them create one big, huge, get-together activity to get to know each other more. Or for big organizations such as PTK, AGS, ASO, my friends are from different backgrounds, different stories. It's so cool. I don't believe in cliques personally, but unfortunately many people are very cliquey. So I would suggest hosting an event or two, or more than that hopefully. But more than that, just to have different people come together that interests them, like food. Food interests everyone. Why not have a huge, as we said, picnic day? And where every culture brings their own food and everybody can try some. There's so many different activities that we can do to help people come together. So, yes.
I would just like to add something really quick, Susan. I just thought of this. I mean, we have the makerspace here, right, Paul? I mean, Paul has 44 members that are, how many? 50, I don't know how to count right now. How many, including, okay. So about 50 and change members that represent pretty much all demographics, race, color, sex, creed, doesn't matter, right?
Discipline,
right? Thoughts, ideas. I mean, you want to talk about shattering walls. It's events like that. It's clubs like that. The proliferation of an exchange of ideas and creativity. And maybe Paul could help. If I'm elected, Paul, please, I could definitely use your help.
we've got a whole group of people that'll help you.
Thank you.
Oh, is it just the president? I had something at the end.
All right, thank you very much. And on a final note, there was a minor correction which was brought up to me by our president. Earlier, I believe in Charles's statement, he spoke about a priority list. It was a personal priority list. It wasn't a representation of the committee that was standing. It was a personal priority list. And thank you, candidates. Thank you, participants.
It's Thacker, not Thanker, but I've gotten that for years. So,
My apologies.
But thank you.
My apologies. Thank you so much, and thank you all. Please help yourselves. There's a surplus of coffee.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming.
And that's a wrap.